I'm 77 now, and there's something I need to say before I forget how it felt. At 70, I signed a piece of paper, just one, and by 73, everything I'd spent 50 years building was gone, not stolen in the night, not taken by strangers. I handed it over myself, to someone I trusted more than... Before 70, I didn't think about trust much. I thought about growth, expansion, the next deal. I had a manufacturing business. Started it at 23 with $2,000 in a garage in Ohio. By the time I turned 65, we had contracts in 11 states, over 300 employees, revenue I never imagined when I was young and hungry and stupid enough to think I could make it work. I thought I had built something permanent, something that would outlive me. I used to walk through the factory floor and feel proud, not in a loud way, just solid, like I'd done what a man is supposed to do: provide, create, leave something behind. At 68, my wife passed, cancer, and after that, the factory didn't feel the same anymore. The house didn't either. I'd come home and she wouldn't be in the kitchen, wouldn't be asking me how my day was. I started staying later at the office, not because I needed to, because going home meant sitting in a silent house and realizing she wasn't coming back. People kept telling me, "You need to slow down. You need to enjoy life now." But what does that even mean when the person you wanted to enjoy it with is gone? So I worked, and I told myself that's what kept me going.
When I turned 70, my son came to me. He'd been working in the business for about 15 years by then. Started in logistics, worked his way up. I was proud of that. He sat me down one evening. We were in my office, late. The building was quiet. He said, "Dad, you've done enough. You've earned the right to rest." I remember looking at him and thinking, he sounds like his mother. He said, "Let me take over, fully. You can stay involved, but let me handle the day-to-day, the stress, the decisions." And then he said something I'll never forget. He said, "I don't want you to die at your desk like Grandpa did." That hit me, because my father did die at his desk. Heart attack, 61 years old. And I'd always told myself I wouldn't do that. So I agreed. We went to the lawyers, drew up papers, power of attorney, transfer of shares, ownership. He told me it was just to make things easier, that I'd still be consulted, that nothing would really change. I signed. I remember my hand shaking a little, not because I didn't trust him, but because signing your name on something like that, it feels final. Like you're handing over more than a business, you're handing over your identity. The first few months after 70 were strange. I'd wake up and have nowhere I needed to be. No meetings, no calls I had to take. I'd go to the office sometimes, but I started noticing people didn't come to me anymore. They went to him. He'd be in meetings I wasn't invited to, making decisions I'd hear about later. At first I told myself, that's good. That's what you wanted. Let him lead. But it didn't feel good. It felt like I was fading, like I was becoming a guest in something I'd built. I tried to stay involved. I'd ask questions, offer advice, but I could see it in his eyes. He didn't want my advice. He wanted me out of the way. By 71, I barely went to the office anymore. He'd call once a week, maybe. "Just checking in, Dad." But it felt obligatory, like he was calling because he had to, not because he wanted to. I started spending more time alone, watching TV I didn't care about, eating meals I didn't taste, sitting in rooms that used to feel like home but now just felt empty, At 72, I got a call from the bank. They said there'd been some irregularities with the business accounts, large withdrawals, transfers I hadn't authorized. I called my son. He didn't answer. I called again. Nothing. I drove to the office, my office, the one I hadn't been to in months. The receptionist looked at me like I was a stranger. She said, "Can I help you?" I said, "I'm here to see my son." She said, "He's not available right now." I waited 2 hours. He never came out. I drove home, and I sat in my kitchen, and I realized I didn't know what was happening to my own company. By 73, I knew. The money was gone. Not all of it at once. He was smart about it. Slow. Redirected funds into accounts I didn't have access to. Sold assets I didn't know we were selling. Took out loans against the business. By the time I understood what was happening, the company was underwater. Debts I never agreed to. Deals I never signed. But legally, I had signed. Because at 70, I'd given him everything. The lawyers told me I could fight it, but it would take years and cost money I didn't have anymore. I asked them, "How did this happen?" They said, "You gave him full control." I said, "But he's my son." They didn't say anything to that. Because what is there to say? Now, at 77, I live in a small apartment, 1 bedroom. I sold the house 2 years ago just to pay off what I could. I don't talk to my son anymore. He tried to call once, about a year ago. I didn't answer. Not because I hate him, but because I don't know what I'd say. Why did you do it? Did you plan it from the beginning? Did you ever love me? Or was I just in the way? I don't think I want to know the answers. I think about 70 a lot. That moment in the office when he asked me to let go. And I wonder, what if I'd said no? What if I'd stayed? Would he have done it anyway? Or was it my stepping back that made it possible? I used to think trust was something you gave to people you loved, that it was a gift. Now I know it's a risk. And I took that risk with the one person I thought would never hurt me. I don't tell people this story, because when you say, "My son took everything from me," they look at you like you failed somewhere, like you must have done something wrong as a father. And maybe I did. Maybe I worked too much. Maybe I wasn't there enough when he was young. Maybe he resented me for things I didn't even notice. But I loved him. I thought that was enough. Sometimes I see older men in coffee shops, sitting with their sons, talking about grandkids or football or nothing important. And I feel something I can't name. Not jealousy exactly, just absence. Like I'm watching a life I was supposed to have, but somehow missed. At 70, I thought I was securing my future. At 73, I realized I'd signed it away. And now, at 77, I'm left with one question I can't stop asking myself. When did he stop seeing me as his father and start seeing me as something to take? If this story made you feel something, maybe hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe if you want more stories like this, and leave a comment below